Hey, it's Luminostic. Today we're going to do a video about one of the master plants that I haven't talked much about on this channel, which is the coca plant. Of course, it's notorious for its association with cocaine, which is unfortunate because it's actually a great superfood and a mild stimulant, and it's been used in ritual and ceremony for 8,000 years. Do me a favor, take a second to hit the like button, subscribe, share the video if you like it, support us on Patreon. Okay, so the coca plant, which is this beautiful little shrub next to me. As I said, it's been in use ritualistically for thousands of years. It has a lot of benefits. It's supposed to help with asthma. It improves digestion. Altitude sickness is a huge one because it's a vasoconstrictor. And so people that live in the Andes at very high elevation, it actually makes it easier for them to deal with the lack of oxygen. So they don't become exhausted and suffer from headaches. It's also one of the most nutritious plants in the world. It's very high in B1, B2, vitamin C, vitamin E. It's extraordinarily high in calcium, very high in protein and fiber. So it's a wonderful superfood, and it's actually served in restaurants in Peru and Colombia. A flour can be made from the dried leaf that, as I said, is extremely nutritious and very stimulating. The leaf, of course, contains some cocaine, but it is not anything like using the extracted cocaine alkaloid, although that is the stimulant in the plant, but it's only around 1%. I think it averages 0.75% up to 1.5% by weight. So it's a very mild stimulant, low in alkaloid. There are a couple other alkaloids in them that aren't well understood, that haven't been studied very much, but I would imagine they have some kind of medical use or some sort of benefit. But mostly the coca plant is a kind of a tragic story because since cocaine has been isolated and it's become a major world global market, the cocaine industry, the plant has developed a bad reputation because of the association with cocaine. It's currently only legal in a handful of countries. Most countries in South America is at least tolerated, but it is technically illegal, or there'll be a limit. You can have an ounce or 2 ounces, and any more is considered like micro trafficking or something. And it's very unfortunate because I think, for example, a guy died a little while back that was one of the oldest people ever to live. I think he was 126 or something, and they asked him what the secret was, and he said that he had been chewing coca leaves all day, every day, since he was a small child. It is a great detoxifier. You'll notice if you chew a lot of coca throughout the day, you'll actually develop very strong body odor. And I don't think that this has been studied necessarily, but my suspicion is that that is because your body's going through a rapid detox and kind of pushing everything out. So it's an amazing plant. Increases stamina. It's good for to increase libido, suppress appetite. You can hike a lot and work all day. And ritualistically, it's very important to a lot of the indigenous people here. They've used it religiously in ceremony for, as I said before, thousands of years. That practice has been suppressed. I think there are very few pockets where it's actually like really used religiously. It's more of like a cultural thing now. In Bolivia, people tend to chew a lot of coca leaf. The Venezuelan president says he chews it every morning. The Bolivian president is actually a coca grower. So and that's basically the long and short of the coca plant and its benefits. There's a movement. Basically, the UN is trying to put pressure on these countries that have legalized the coca leaf, especially for indigenous use. I should mention the glyphosate thing. Glyphosate is an extremely toxic chemical. I believe it was developed by Monsanto, and the DEA has been spraying it on coca fields. So it's very important to try to make sure that if you're in South America and there's coca available to you, that you kind of know where the source is, because it's very common for them to apply glyphosate to the plants, and it's also destroying waterways and causing a lot of problems, these eradication efforts. So it's completely ridiculous. I mean, their idea is to stop the cocaine market, but it's a very beneficial, very healthy, cleansing plant. And part of the reason that I was inspired to make this video there are still people that are making these negative associations. I'm not going to name any names, but I watched a video the other day, and this guy does a lot of videos on psychedelics. He's very popular, and he did a video on Coca, and he was basically, trying to figure out how much you had to eat to get a cocaine-like high, which I think is the kind of association that, we don't need. As I've said, coca is an extraordinarily beneficial, very healthy plant with an unnecessarily bad reputation. So there's not much more to say about that. I just wanted to put that out there. I've seen a lot of bad information on YouTube, and we don't really need these things to be demonized anymore. We're finding out that all these plants that have been a source of, that become illicit and subject to a lot of propaganda are actually very valuable medicines, and the coca plant is no different from the rest of them that have been outlawed, such as cannabis. So thanks a lot for watching, and hit the like button, subscribe, support us on Patreon.